5 p.m. A quorum is present, and the meeting has been duly called and posted in the time and manner required by law. I would like to invite Jim Brewer, minister at South Plains Church of Christ, and his wife Lisa, a former Lubbock ISD teacher at Brown Elementary, to the podium to open our meeting with a prayer and lead the audience in the pledges to the American and Texas flag. If you will please rise.
You bow with me. God, our Father and Creator, as I look around this room at these 7 trustees along with administration and staff sharing together today in this exercise of working towards improving the lives and education of the children in our community, I thank you out of the gratitude for the leaders you've put in this place at this time in our school district. And I simply ask that you help them as they execute their elected or appointed roles to the best of their ability for the advantage of all children of Lubbock ISD. Give them great wisdom and self-control so they can govern well. Give them good health and healthy relationships so they can move our schools forward in healthy directions. Give them clarity in understanding complex and knotty problems, along with compassion and love for all of their fellow citizens and children. I ask all of this through our mediator and Lord, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you so much. I would first like to recognize and invite Mike May, Program Lead for the Vocational Transition Center, to the podium for some recognitions of students. Mr. May.
Thank you, Dr. Rollo, members of the school board, for allowing us to join you tonight as we honor our Special Olympic State participants. Tonight we're proud to celebrate 32 Lubbock ISD student athletes who competed at the state level, representing the Vocational Transition Center, VTC Busy Bees. Also, the Coronado High School Mustangs. These athletes competed in the Special Olympic State Track and Field Competition at Melissa, Texas, from April 30th through May 3rd of this year. Special Olympics provides students with disabilities meaningful opportunities, develop teamwork, confidence, sportsmanship, and friendship, while showcasing their abilities and accomplishments. Opportunities like these are made possible through the support and dedication of those who believe in our students in the Special Olympics program. With that in mind, I would also like to thank Dr. Kami Finger. Her encouragement and continued support helps make these opportunities possible for our athletes. I would also like to recognize Lubbock ISD's head of delegation, Ms. Cheyenne Spell. Wait, there she is. Who coordinates the program and does the heavy lifting required for our athletes to participate in events like this. Her dedication and hard work are essential to the success of our Special Olympics program. So at this time, I will call each athlete's name and invite them to come forward and receive their certificate of recognition. First up, we have Amaret Garcia. She did the 50-meter run and the softball throw. Andres Galvan, 50-meter run and softball throw. Brandon Marcy in the softball throw. Hayden Lowe in the 200-meter run, softball throw, and the 4x100-meter relay. And Isaiah Bubba Posada 50-meter walk and softball throw. Marie Garza, 50-meter walk and shot put. Michael Ortega, 50-meter run and shot put. Michael Prito, shot put. Nicholas Galvan, 100-meter run and softball throw. Salito Davila, 50-meter run and shot put. Tyler Solis, 50-meter run and softball throw. Xander Gonzalez, the 30-meter motorized wheelchair slalom. And 25-meter motorized wheelchair obstacle course in the tennis ball throw. Our athletes that couldn't be with us tonight, but we want to recognize their accomplishment is Christian Perez, Devarian Walker, Jeremiah Salinas, Kyle Diebel, Leandra Armenta, and Zay Laquan Lewis. So that's our VTC Busy Bee state participants. Thank y'all. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Chris Huber, principal of Coronado High School, to read the names of his state participants.
Y'all want to take a picture of the VTC kids first?
Yeah. Do we need to go out? Oh, we'll do a group photo. Yeah.
No, I pushed you out too soon, didn't I?
What should you say? Hey, the tall ones go to the back, because we're gonna have to have 2 rows, and there are a bunch of tall students. They need to.
You can have around this chair. Come on, you're gonna have to get in the front. And get over there by the others.
This chair out of the way, too. Oh, I forgot I'm supposed to do that. I was moving chairs.
Count 3, 1, 2.
Good job. You're welcome. Thank you.
Go right up there.
And our Special Olympics state qualifiers from Coronado High School are Ainsley Skelton in the 100-meter run, running long jump, and 2x50-meter relay. Brianna McFadden, 100-meter run, running long jump, and 2x50-meter relay. Ryan Revis in the 100-meter run, shot put, and the 4x100-meter relay. And Zoe Burns in the 50-meter run and the softball throw. Also representing Coronado at state but not present tonight are Katie Corley, Damian Guevara, Dylan Perez, Elijah De La Rosa, Ethan Glenn, Jeremiah Cervantes, Kami Reyna, Riley Garcia, and Raylan Flores. And the person who ramrods, or heads up, rather, Special Olympics at Coronado High School is Brenda Tobias Griffin. And we so appreciate her.
Let's go right up here and we'll do one more picture.
Are you ready, kid? Can you look this way? Brian could be in the back, he's so tall. So take one step forward. This way. There you go, buddy. Good job. Yep, gotcha. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Next, we will recognize Texas FFA Agri-Science Fair State qualifiers and like to invite Kobe Johnson for the AgriStem Complex to the podium.
All right, good afternoon, Dr. Rollo, President Sharp, Vice President Ratliff, Secretary Chavez, and the rest of the board. We'd first like to express our sincere gratitude to you for your continued support in everything we do, not just the Agri-Science Fair, which we are here to celebrate today. Over the past 2 years, we've had students earn a national championship and a third nationally in the Agri-Science Fair, and today we're here to talk about and celebrate the success of our newest group of competitors. In July, we had students that qualified to compete at the state level at the state convention in the Agri-Science Fair competition. We have had a lot of success. However, just making it to state is an accomplishment in itself. I'm going to announce them in order of schools. So we're going to start with Lubbock FFA. And in the Division 6 Animal Systems, as a team, they were state champions, and our national finalist was Kaylin Baker and Carter Baker. These two, being state champions, are going to compete on the national level and have already been announced as national finalists, which means they're in the top 10 in the country for their division. We will find out where they rank nationally after their competition in October. Also, I'm going to apologize. As y'all know, there's lots of events going on right now. Not all of our students were able to make it. From Coronado FFA, Division 6 Social Systems, second place and reserve state champion was Penelope Jeter and Harmony Garcia, which Harmony was a 2026 graduate, so they are not here with us tonight. From Talkington FFA, we had Alexis Cantrell. She competed in Division 5 Food Products and Processing, was second place, which is a reserve state champion. And then next is Lily Berryhill. She competed in Division 3 Environmental Sciences and Natural Resources Systems, and she was third place in state. Some of the other competitors were Charlie Lovallo, Division 3 Social System. She was third place. Margaret Sawyer, Elizabeth Milo Hernandez, Soraya Martinez, and Gabby Farrell. Thank you.
I would like to invite,
appreciate you, thank you.
I'd like to invite Chad Haskins, Coordinator for Advanced Academics, to the podium for recognition of Texas Association for Gifted and Talented 2027 Board of Directors appointment.
Fantastic. Thank you, President Sharp, Dr. Rollo, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I've had the pleasure of recognizing many student groups, so this is the first time I get to recognize a colleague. So tonight, Lubbock ISD excited to recognize one of our own dedicated leaders, Sarah Gibson, the district's gifted and talented specialist for K-12. I consider it a distinct honor and a privilege not only to be a part of this recognition, but to work beside this amazing leader on a daily basis. Sarah embodies the 3 pillars of the Lubbock ISD leadership framework by valuing data, developing leaders, and loving people as she works to advance gifted and talented identification and instructional practices across the district. The Texas Association for the Gifted and Talented, or TAGIT, connects and empowers educators and parents across the state to meet the unique needs of gifted and talented students, young minds who see the world differently and are preparing to solve the complex challenges of tomorrow. Serving as the TAGIT Board of Directors is a distinguished responsibility. As the governing body of the organization, this board sets strategic policy, provides oversight, and charts the future path for gifted education across the state. Following a rigorous selection process by TAGIT's Leadership Development Committee and a statewide vote by its membership, Sarah was officially elected to serve as the at-large director for the 2027 TAGIT Board of Directors. She will be formally installed into this office this coming fall during Gift Ed 26, the association's annual conference. Sarah's election comes as no surprise to us that work side by side with her. She has contributed to TAGIT communities and thought leadership throughout the years. Her deep insight, passion, and unwavering dedication to our students, families, and staff make her an invaluable asset to the district, but now also to educators across the state. Sarah? Thank you for your leadership and for representing Lubbock ISD with such excellence. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the entire district, congratulations for this well-deserved honor.
Thank you, Mr. Haskins. Next, we'd like to invite Dr. Amy Stevens, Executive Principal for our elementary campuses, to the podium to recognize the appointment to the Texas Classroom Commission. Thank you, Dr. Stevens.
Good evening, President Sharp, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Rollo. The Texas Classroom Commission is a teacher-led initiative launched by Governor Greg Abbott that puts Texas educators at the center of shaping the future of public education and strengthening student achievement. The commission consists of exemplary current and former public school educators from across Texas, bringing them together to develop practical, classroom-informed recommendations for the governor, the Texas Education Agency, the Texas Legislature, ahead of the 90th legislative session this coming spring. Lubbock ISD is pleased to announce that Laura Fannin, 5th grade teacher from Roscoe Wilson Elementary, has been selected as a member of the Texas Classroom Commission. As part of the commission, Laura will focus on bolstering classroom instruction, supporting teachers, improving the learning environment, and ensuring that Texas students are prepared to succeed. Lubbock ISD is proud of the work that Laura does within the districts and looks forward to seeing how she will help shape the future of public education as a part of this prestigious commission.
Congratulations. You were the principal and Dr. Stevens.
Let's go just a little bit more this way. Go on, keep going. Take one step forward. There, good. You guys ready? 1, 2, and 3.
Healthy School Recognized Campus, or HSRC program, is an initiative hosted by the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Schools that are recognized as an HSRC demonstrate a commitment to supporting and encouraging healthy living by hosting events for their campus community, including students, families, and parents, and staff. The program served to support and encourage participants to improve their health. Last year, Preston Smith Elementary partnered with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Lubbock County office to host the events Walk Across Texas. This is an 8-week program designed to establish a habit of regular physical activity using fun and a motivating team approach. This included Walk Across Texas Youth for every student through our PE classes, Walk Across Texas Adult with the Smith staff coming together to form teams, and the Smith Sprouts After School Garden Club and the Star Garden, utilizing the Learn, Grow, Eat, and Go curriculum for 40 students. After successful completion of these initiatives, Lubbock ISD is proud to recognize Smith Elementary for receiving the Healthy School Recognized Campus Award, and we want to congratulate Principal J.C. Underwood and the entire Smith staff for this achievement. J.C.
Yeah, and Christina Reese. She has a banner. Of course. We do things big.
I'm not shocked, not even a little.
We'll do, I tell you what, let's do one with, and, or what, can we just, can we fit it?
Yeah, maybe.
It's very large.
We want everybody to see.
All right.
Let's raise it up just a little bit higher, right there, good. And here goes, ready, 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you, and thank you to parent volunteer Christina Reed for making that happen. Our next recognition is National School PTA Schools of Excellence. I'd like to invite Britta Ty, Coordinator for Community Relations, to the podium.
Evening. The National PTA School of Excellence is a recognition program that celebrates local PTAs and schools that build strong, inclusive partnerships between families and school staff to improve the educational experience for all students. The program uses national PTA's standards for family-school partnerships to help schools evaluate their current engagement practices and implement targeted improvements. This year, only 31 schools in Texas and 330 schools nationwide received this national recognition for their outstanding commitment to building strong family-school partnerships that support student success. Lubbock ISD is pleased to announce that Roscoe Wilson Elementary and Irons Middle School have received the National PTA School of Excellence designation for 2025-2027. These campuses join McCool Academy, Smith Elementary, Ramirez Elementary, and Monterey High School as past recipients of this national recognition.
Okay, Roscoe Wilson, come on up.
Y'all better get back here and get a picture.
Hey, how are you? All right, Roscoe, let's do a picture.
All right, let's do it.
It's never a bad time to take a good picture. Stacy embodies that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, oh, yes, yes, yes.
And goes, ready, 1, 2, and 3.
Y'all coming? Well done. Congratulations, y'all got a banner.
Here goes. Ready? 1, 2, and 3.
Good to see you. Oh, get out of here. I know I should have been here.
Okay, thank you. The next order of business is citizens' comments. Before we begin, I would like to review the provisions in board policy governing the procedures for public participation as reflected in BED Local. The audience shall not enter into discussion or debate on the matters being considered by the board. I will remind members of the board that the citizen comments section of our board meeting is for the purpose of listening to patrons, but we are not allowed to comment or debate on issues that are not posted. No presentation shall exceed 3 minutes, and a timer will go off at the completion of 3 minutes. I would ask that you conclude your comments within the time limit allowed. As I call your name, if you'd come to the podium and state your name for the record. First, Sandra Chatham, will you please join us at the podium?
Good afternoon. My name is Sandra Chatham. Dr. Rollo and to the school board, we'd like to have you consider and naming the school after one of our great legends from the East Side and a former educator, Mr. Curtis Gibson. He and his wife were graduates of Dunbar High School, and they built a legacy. His wife was a principal at Wheatley, and he was a principal at Estacada and Dunbar. His daughter, they later passed the baton to their daughter, and she was a principal at Parkway. Mr. Gibson was a great leader in our neighborhood. He taught in generations of kids, and not only was he an inspiration to our neighborhood, after he retired, he worked at the Patterson Library as a reading tutor until his health got bad. Him and his daughter is a reading teacher, and Mr. Gibson did so much in our neighborhood, not only as an educator, but in mentoring our kids and teaching our kids what's the right way to go. And we'd like for you to consider him. We did a petition, we faxed in some of them, but we'd like to pass out the petition to you for your review on a few of them. We really would like for you to consider Mr. Gibson and his family as one of the names on the school, but we'd like for it to be Curtis Gibson, but just think how much his family had did in education. Last year at the TASB, his godson, Larry Pope, was named superintendent of the year, so we know what he did not only in the school board, but in his church too. He's been there for generations in the church, and he inspired the kids in the church, not only to be educators, but to be superintendent of the year. That's a great accomplishment, and we'd like for you to take that in consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Chatham. Next, I'd like to invite Ernest Swain to the podium.
Good afternoon. My name's Ernest Swain, and I'm here as a committed friend of Curtis Gibson. When I moved to Lubbock years ago, my family and I were looking for a church home, and we chose the New Hope Baptist Church, where Curtis Gibson was a leader. And our relationship began there. We were introduced to him, and the casual relationship began. And it developed into a committed relationship. He and I shared trips together, the four of us, Hattie, his wife Hattie, my wife Julia, and Curtis. We all shared quite a bit of time together. And the reason for this was After we had been here a while, he asked my wife's hometown. And after talking and learning things, Mr. Gibson and my wife's brother, Roy Nelson, played football together at Butler College back in the day. So that helped our friendship to grow and become what it was. And at his homegoing, I was allowed to say a few words, and I use the analogy, I hope you non-believers can accept this, of David and Saul's oldest son, Jonathan. After David killed Goliath, he talked with Saul the king for a few minutes, and the Bible says that after that, their souls were knitted together and they became friends forever. That's basically what happened to the Gibson family and the Swain family. Our souls were knitted together after we got to know one another, and until the end, we were still friends, and we're still friends with those left. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Swain. Quincy White, if you'd please step to the podium.
Good afternoon. Good to see y'all. I'm here representing and supporting naming the school after Curtis Gibson. Mr. Gibson was my high school basketball coach. I met him in August of 1963 when he became the basketball coach at Dunbar. But he wasn't just the basketball coach. Mr. Gibson was a classroom teacher. And unlike these traditional coaches from years and years ago who just basically coached football, basketball, and so forth, he was a strong academic teacher in there. He made sure that every senior on that basketball team got a scholarship to go away and play basketball. He was a special man. I certainly don't have anything negative to say about the other names that are going to be in consideration. But as an ex-student and basketball player and the friendship I had with him as an adult, this is a no-brainer. And I say that sincerely. And I don't say it mocking anyone else. But it's just one of those deals that's no contest whatsoever. So naming the school after Curtis Gibson, I just don't think you can even consider or make a better decision. He was a great man. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. I'd like to invite Trent Cox to the podium. Trent Cox.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Your house. I come standing in the gap for my role model. Coach Curtis Gibson. I also, like Quincy, met Coach Gibson in 1963 on the 8th grade football team. He was a coach as well as the basketball coach. And he taught us some life lessons. He was definitely a role model. You know, I was asking for my higher power, which is God, I choose, to give me a word to speak. So he said, just go from your heart. So I didn't write nothing down, you know, but I can tell you about a man. Let me tell you about this man. Deacon in the church, role model in school. You could go to him at any time. never said a curse word amongst me. I never heard it in my life. I'm truly a friend and an advocate of Coach Curtis Gibson. He used to get us in the huddle. I know y'all played ball somewhere down the line, and as you get in the basketball hole, the coaches give you advice. Well, Coach Gibson would give us advice, but he was giving us a life lesson that we didn't understand then. The life lesson that he was giving us, his first thing he would tell you, he would look every man in the face in the huddle and say, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. We thought he was talking about the adversary that we were playing, but he was talking about you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. So Coach Gibson is definitely a role model. And you know, I was on the team and the B team of the junior high team. We all had the same dressing room at the school, and in the coach's office, there's a window that he can see us out on the court. Well, everybody left, and me and my friend, we were the last one, and so we kept hearing the ball bounces. So we peeped through the coach's office, and he wasn't in there, so we looked out the window, and Coach Gibson was actually shooting free throws. So we didn't know him his first year, right? So we said, look, let's just see what he got. So we sit back, he didn't know we was looking. We was in the office behind the walls, looking out the window. And we stopped counting at 51, so we left. So I've never seen him miss. No, that's a true story. I've never seen him miss, you know. But the most important thing was he was a man of God. You know, he's a man of God. If you want to describe integrity, compassion, empathy, you're talking about Coach Curtis Gibson. If you want to think about somebody that's going to come to your house every summer.
You finish your last sentence. You finish it, God.
If you want to know about somebody, Coach Gibson would come by, literally come by his player's house. Every summer, he would come by our house and give us fruit, my mom fruit, who was a child. And he still did that. I'm 75 years old, and he still did that. After my mama passed it down to me. He'd come by and say, this came out of my backyard. You know, he always had a positive word, you know. So I'm like, I'm gonna be like Quincy. What is it to think about? God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. Glenda Stiggers to the podium. Glenda. And if you'll repeat your name, because I'm not sure I said it correctly.
Glenda Stiggers is my name.
Okay.
I'm here to speak in regards to Curtis Gibson and Hattie Gibson. I hope you will receive. I hope they will receive this honor for naming the school. Mr. Gibson is. Can you hear me?
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
That's good.
Good. But Mr. Gibson was a pillar in our community, and as well as Hattie. He supported our little basketball and baseball. Mr. Gibson was a mentor for all boys and girls. Mr. Gibson would give lecture at the Theodore B. Boys and Girls Club. And Mr. Gibson was always helping with donation for families in the schools. He made sure that each child would not go hungry. We had food to eat. And I have a personal deal. My brother, he's in heaven. My brother, Ronnie Stiggers, they walked up there to his barber shop, and I guess he lost his money. He said, Mr. Gibson, I don't have any money. I guess I'm gonna get a haircut today. Mr. Gibson said, Stiggers, get in the chair. It's on me. So I'll let you know they are a great family, great educators. It would be wonderful to have them honored with a school and their names, Hattie, Curtis, or Curtis, whatever you want to put it. It'd be an honor. But thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. right, and then Cosby Morton.
Good afternoon. I
Good
wish that somebody had told me it was 3 minutes, but you know, I'm gonna cut it down. Amen. Okay. It is an honor to be here, members of the trustees and Dr. Rollo, to talk about a man that is impeccable. At the new school, I'm here to represent Curtis Gibson's name for the new school. The recommendation is about more than recognizing a successful coach or a longtime principal. It is about honoring a man whose entire life was dedicated to young people, education, mentorship, leadership, and service to the community. Coach Gibson understood something very important about education. A school is not simply a building where students attend classes. A school is a place where lives are shaped, character is developed, dreams are encouraged, and young people are prepared for their future. He was a product of the Lubbock school system, graduating from Dunbar in 1953 and playing on the first state championship team at Dunbar. Mr. Gibson did not simply teach subjects, he taught young people. He taught them to believe in themselves. He taught them discipline. He taught them responsibility. And perhaps most important, he taught them that their circumstances did not have to determine their future. His commitment to students was evident throughout his life. The basketball court was his classroom. The students became his living legacy. As they said, he was a teacher at Dunbar. He taught me. He was also a coach there. He was an assistant principal, vice principal at Estacada, and also he was a principal at Estacada and Alderson. One of the things I want to emphasize is he's homegrown. His whole family is homegrown. In the LISD school system, he is a product, and he is, exemplary of this system. You understand, principals are not simply managers of the school. They are leaders, advocates, counselors, disciplinarians, and role models. Trying to finish here. The students found someone willing to tell them that they could do better, go farther, and become more than others might expect them. As they said, he was a barber. Now, he didn't work just 8 to 5. As a barber, he had the ability to counsel people. He had the ability to counsel the students and tell them and encourage them and say, hey, you can be more than this. Your circumstances, look what I came out of. Whether he was standing in the school hallway, sitting behind a desk, or as a principal, coaching young people on a basketball court, cutting hair in the barbershop, or serving as a deacon at New Hope Baptist Church, Curtis Gibson was doing essentially the same thing. He was investing in people. He would communicate a message to every student who walked in there. Education matters, character matters, service matters. Mentorship matters. I can think of few names that better represent education, leadership, perseverance, mentorship, and service than Mr. Curtis Gibson. So I'm asking that you think about him as his whole family. As they said, his daughter Brenda was a principal in the system. Miss Hattie Mae was a principal. His son, Winston, is now a principal in the Metroplex area after a successful career in banking, and his grandson is a basketball coach. So please give him the consideration. This is a family that was invested in the community, not only that, but in Dunbar High and LISD. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I will now open the floor to trustee comments.
I'll comment. Shocker, I'm going first. I won't be long, but I just want to say what a breath of fresh air tonight is. I think we've all had a lot of stress with school starting, had a lot of stress with goings on, and I know this board and this administration have shared greatly in the stress of just, things that have been going on lately. And tonight, all I've heard is lifting people up, lifting schools up, lifting people whose legacy was helping others, and investing in their community and giving back. And man, this is why I did this. this is what this is all about, and it's just been a breath of fresh air. So Special Olympics athletes, FFA folks, the teachers, the PTAs, healthy schools, keep doing what you're doing. And I know you're doing it when things are stressful, but this is what I like to focus on. This is what I like to talk about and what I like to hear about. So, thanks.
I think it'd be much easier to comment after Trustee Wedegy than the 6 of you that came up and spoke. Man, thank you so much for sharing that. I really feel like I missed out on knowing a great man. And just like John said, what a breath of fresh air. So thank y'all. Just on the topic of being proud and having pride, what a great example by the Special Olympians that we got to recognize. I mean, there's smiles and then there's smiles, right? I mean, those kids are very proud and just makes me proud to be part of it. And I think part of the FFA educational path is learning handshakes, because I mean, each one of them, I mean, really hurt my hand. It was great. So shout out to the educators, our FFA staff. They've done a great job. And personal point of pride, you know, the Irons PTA School of Excellence, my wife is very involved in the PTA there, and our daughter attends there, and it's been really amazing to see the school transform under Mr. Brockman's leadership and the PTA. And my wife would have been here. We have a daughter that has a lot of extracurricular activities, and her husband's busy tonight, so she wasn't able to be here. So congrats to all of them. Thank you.
My heart is much lifted up. It was good to see the students who have done as well as they have done. See those teachers. It was an uplift to hear about the PTAs. That's something that I'm concerned about in some of the schools that don't have PTAs, only a few. And it's an uplift to hear my brothers and sisters speak about Curtis Gibson. He was my barber. And he was an uplift. His whole family was an uplift and still is an uplift. We, as board members, get a chance to make decisions. We get a chance to see all of this goodness. And that's an uplift, and we need to keep doing what we're doing. And you keep doing what you're doing, it's being here. Thank you.
Congratulations, you know, to each and everybody that was recognized, our teachers, our kids, and most importantly, whether it's good, the bad, or the ugly, it's why I do what I do, because I want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly, because you know what, then I'm not going to be helpful or instrumental in helping all of this, so that's why I do what I do. See, there it is right there. But anyway, just to hit a little bit on Mr. Cosby. He's here. That's what he's telling us.
Yeah.
No, I've had the privilege of meeting him. He passed away recently, as recent as 2-3 months ago. So my condolences to his family and to each and every one of you that came up here and spoke. Thank you. Those were beautiful words. So thanks for being out here. And we're listening. God bless you.
I'll just reiterate what everyone has said. Just thank you so much for being here. The teachers, the students, the citizen comments tonight reminds us what it's all about. And so thank you for the honor of getting to hear your words and taking your time to be here and speak on such in such a positive way. It was an honor to listen.
Okay.
I think it's been said.
It has been said, but I'm going to say a few more things. So we've had a significant amount of academic growth to celebrate in Lubbock ISD, and I think Misty Reber's going to guide us through that a little later. So I don't want that to be overshadowed by anything else that's been on the table. Monterey High School my alma mater, joined Lubbock High and Talkington in earning an A. Coronado was only 1 point away from an A, and Estacado only 1 point from a B. So we are making progress, and that's the focus on that shows. So we give our administration and teachers and staff a round of applause. Next, I want to say I appreciate the participation in the public comments. And those are important. It's important for us to hear from the public and that they are engaged in our schools. I do want to clarify that for the purpose of the public, tonight we were to be voting on names of schools. However, because of some of the other things, the vast number of, I believe it was 80 names that were submitted in addition to the time we spent working on library books over the last few weeks, we've had to delay that, and that's a legislatively mandated timeline on the library book. So next month in September, we will be naming those schools. So the applications were due by August the 1st. So if there's a name that's missing, we need to check. So, and then the last thing, the health of our community now and in the future is dependent on the work being done on campuses every day to ensure every child has an opportunity for a productive life as a member of this community. In order to accomplish that goal, our administration must focus on the things that move the needle of student achievement. As trustees, we must create the space for our administration, school leadership, teachers, and staff to work together to achieve the shared goals we have on student success, and in doing so, in an environment where funding is inadequate and inequitable. I do want to say we've had very productive conversations with our Lubbock legislators and their staff over the last week to move past areas where we may have disagreement and refocus our attention on what will impact student learning, the resources for effective teaching and learning in the classroom, and the retention of our excellent teachers and staff. We appreciate our local legislators' time and attention to these important matters. Pardon me. I am committed on focusing our time on this dais and that of our superintendent on the things that surround our district goals on student achievement, teacher retention, and positive community engagement. So I had to read that, but I want to make sure I got it all said. Thank you. Any other comments? If not, then we will move forward on our agenda to financials. I'll invite Dr. Wilkins.
All right. Good evening, President Sharp, Board of Trustees, Dr. Rollo. So I'm going to walk you through the financials real quick. So the first thing I'm going to start with is just our revenues over expenditures, and you can see over the bottom right that we are not spending near as much as we have been in the past, and that is a good thing because we're in a $22.5 million deficit, so we're looking at any way we can to cut and save. So that shows that the staff is really working hard to do what they can to save some money. The next page is our food service fund. That is always phenomenal. Airmark and Carol Evans do a great job working hand in hand in procurement, making sure that that stays where it needs to be, and we really appreciate that partnership. The next page is debt service, and so again, we know that we're going to have a little bit there that we're going to have to chip in because we want to maintain that 17.5-cent INS rate, so we're going to chip in a little bit there out of our fund balance, INS fund balance, which we have had for a while, so that's a good thing there. The next page is our capital projects. We're actually seeing some movement now. We waited on this a long time, and now we're starting to see some funds flow through there, and that's a wonderful thing. And as these new schools really get rolling, you'll start seeing some more money roll through there too. So the next page is our Head Start program grant, and you can see that that is a March start grant. So we haven't really spent just a whole lot, obviously, but now that the school year is getting going, we're really going to start seeing some money be spent in that grant, and we'll have it expended by February, and then we'll start the next one again in March. So moving on to the next page is our budget amendments, and this one is really taken up with reappropriations, and basically a short explanation of reappropriations is things that were ordered last fiscal year that we took that money, rolled it to fund balance, now we put it back in the budget because it's been received and paid for this fiscal year. So that's just a short lesson on government accounting this evening. And then your next page going forward is your budget transfers. Just some people finding some efficiencies and needing to move some things around and changing where they wanted their money placed. The next one is our tax collections on our levy. And you can see this is based on our current fiscal year. So we haven't collected just a whole lot, which is to be expected. The next page is based on LCAD's fiscal year, which runs a little bit different than ours. Theirs is October to September. So you can see that they've collected 97.28%. The next page shows you a breakdown, historical breakdown month over month, so you can kind of see the tax collections. And we are starting to get back to where we were way back there when things were clicking along pretty good. It's just taking time after COVID. So next is our investments. We're still hanging on at that 3.7, 3.8 range, and so that's exciting that we're still getting that return. And so really, really good there. The next one is your cash flow, and then we'll round things out with enrollment. This was as of day 4, so things have changed a little bit since then, but we got to get board packets put together and things, so that's the reason it's ran so early. But just to give you some enrollment numbers, at that time we were down 551 students from last year. So we have gained just a few back, but that fluctuates, and we'll watch that throughout the year as I keep reporting to you guys. But we did budget an ADA of $20,500, and with these numbers and an estimated ADA, it'd be about $20,400. So it's okay. We're hanging on right where we need to be. And so it would be nice to have some more students and some higher attendance rates, but I'm pleased with where we're at this time.
We are doing a big pre-K push in the very near future.
So I'd be happy to answer any questions about the financials.
Could you tell me what that total is on enrollment again?
Yes, so the total on enrollment is around 22,800.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And typically, is it correct, after Labor Day, we typically see a little bit, the number go up just a bit?
Yes, ma'am. That's a historical trend in public ed. After Labor Day, you usually see a lot of kids come back, and they come in after Labor Day.
So this includes kids in the program, in our partnership with Texas Tech K-12. Okay, great. Yeah.
So, not really a question on this. Thank you for always having these financials laid out well for us, but just wanted to take a minute to publicly commend you on when we met with Senator Perry. Your presentation was highly beneficial, and I think it yielded a lot, and might even yield a trip for you to Austin to help him with the other legislation. But thank you for advocating for us and helping us to grow this.
We're not done
Yeah,
yet.
not
No,
done.
not done.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We are doing a big pre-K marketing because we do have some empty pre-K seats right now.
Okay, so we are currently doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
We did
I heard you say the future.
no, we did a lot in the spring, but we're going to circle back and do some more.
And those are
Is anything we could do
fours,
to
yes,
help
ma'am,
out
for
with
fours.
that? Because what was it, a year ago or whatnot, I mean, we pushed it out there with social media, so whatever it is that we can do or I can do, like we did before last year, let me know. Because you're right, it takes a village, it just doesn't take you guys. Thank you, whoever's doing it besides pre-K folks and you guys.
What do you see as the reason why it's down?
The pre-K numbers? Probably going back to birth rate. We just don't have as many. But we want to capture all that we can. Your families are aware that that is an option.
Thanks for letting us know.
Of course.
On just the overall enrollment birth rate, I know, but last year I think there was some discussion about some families being afraid to send their kiddos to school. Are you hearing any of that chatter, or?
Yes, we are.
Still have concerns? Okay. On the approval of the budget summary report, budget amendments and transfers, and the statement of taxes collected, and the investment report for July 2026, do I have a motion to approve the financial reports for 2026 as presented? A motion and a second by
Second.
Trustee Ziegner. Thank you. All in favor, please indicate by show of hands. Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Next, on our consent agenda, the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting and workshop held July 23rd, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the July 23rd, 2026 board meeting?
So moved.
I have a motion by trustee Lawson, second by trustee Wedegy. All those in favor, please indicate by show of hands. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Now, I'd like to invite Misty Reber, Chief Academic Officer, to present our wonderful academic news. And while there's some not as wonderful, there's a plan. Yes.
Okay, we got one screen. That's exciting. I was ready to show you my paper and do a little teach piece. Thank you all for letting us delay this to tonight with our extensive meeting last week, but we're excited to talk to you about our August academic update. But the first thing that I want to celebrate is that from the 2025 school year, Lubbock ISD went from an 80 to this school year to an 82. That rating change, that jump, shows consistency, support from the classroom to the boardroom. It means that in everything that we're doing, we're working together. You've given us tremendous support to administrators, to teachers, to paraprofessionals to make sure that we are ready and prepared. We are incredibly grateful. We hope that you are celebrating that number as much as we are. We know across the district we had lots to celebrate and lots of very excited people as we saw incredible growth for so many groups of kids. So when we think about those successes, things that we know are that that number represents that we had kids grow. So academically, we had kids that were successful, that grew more than a year in 1 year of growth in both math and reading and had opportunity to increase. We also have some preliminary results showing that our writing was above state averages, knowing things that we're working on are showing proof for what is working for all of our kids. But we know that came through intentional curriculum implementation. We had a playbook and we followed the playbook. Our teachers spent many hours learning and working and planning to be ready. They practiced in front of one another. They received modeling and coaching support so that they can be ready to teach and be effective with kids. We also have what we call tight, loose implementation. The way I think of this is that every person wakes up every morning and want to win. But in order to win, you have to know the rules of the game. So we took the rules of the game and we wrote them down on a piece of paper. And we said, in all the aspects of what we do in our district, here are the written rules. Here's the things you have to follow, and here are places where you have autonomy and flexibility. We share those with our principals, we take feedback, we update, and we use those as our playbook so we can move forward together. We also have spent a lot of time in Lubbock ISD working on leadership development. We know next to the classroom teacher, the most important person in the building is the administrator, although sometimes we do think it's the secretary too. But we know that the administrator in the building makes a difference. It helps with teacher retention, it helps with teacher growth, and it helps with the success of the school. So we have spent time as a district pouring into our leaders to make sure that they are ready to lead and move those campuses forward. So what are you going to see this year that we will have as supports for all schools across our district? We have a new walkthrough tool that we'll talk about in just a minute. We've talked about before in student achievement. We're very excited, called the Content Agnostic Walk. We are using this in kindergarten through 12th grade. We're walking through classrooms looking for patterns, looking for practices, looking for areas of growth that we can change our professional development and our teaching to help teachers and administrators be more successful. We tier our teachers. We do that so that we know how much support they need. If you need help, we want to be there in Lubbock ISD. We're a family and we take care of each other. So we want to make sure that we know what support teachers need and what support administrators need. We already talked about our tight, loose framework. We'll continue to use that this year. And then we spend a great deal of time on leadership collaboration, whether that is through our executive coaching team, our principals and assistant principals who serve as part of a PLC, so a professional learning community. They come together every month and they have time to learn, time to problem solve, and time to figure out things together. So we value that leadership collaboration and that time together. So if you look in that red box, we saw the walkthrough tool. This next year, we will have a dashboard that will be able to look at walkthroughs across the district at both the elementary level and the secondary level, see the success of those walkthroughs, see the great opportunities, but also see the patterns for where we need to do greater teach pieces and where we need to give greater support. That will allow us to be fluid in our support to campuses and to teachers so that we can be more on time and in the moment with our feedback. Our tight loose document is what you see there in the green. We continue to update that so we know the rules of the game. We're all playing in the same game and we're all coming to win. So the next piece is about tiering of teachers. Based upon the tier of a teacher is how often they will receive feedback. So a tier 1 teacher, at least one time in 9 weeks, will have feedback in their classroom. A tier 2 teacher, twice in 9 weeks. And a tier 3 teacher is 3 times in 9 weeks, but we're trying to keep that at almost at an every other week. We want to make sure that if a teacher is struggling or needs help or is new, that not only are we providing a mentor, we're providing feedback, but we're providing day in and day out support so they feel really successful in what they're doing and they're ready to grow and learn. We're excited about our new teachers inside of our district, and I believe, I'm a little biased, but I believe that Lubbock provides more support for their staff than any other district that I have seen in the state of Texas. So once you're part of the Lubbock ISD family, we want to make sure that you stay and we want to make sure that you're successful. We do have some campuses that are getting some additional intensive support. These are our campuses that have an unacceptable rating from the state. A UA3, UA1, and UA2 represent the number of years of an unacceptable rating. Our campuses that have an unacceptable 3 rating are not only getting weekly executive coaching, plus all the things that you've seen on the other pages, they also get weekly data monitoring, but we also, with the generosity of the board, were able to put some additional positions in those campuses. So they received additional administrators, additional behavior support, SPED support, and some additional teaching support to keep their classroom numbers down. We know that that support for this year is going to make a big difference along with our systems and structures that are in place. For a campus that is in a UA1 or UA2, they also have weekly executive coaching. And then along with our title partnership, we were able to provide some long-term subs and interventionists. That allows that they aren't having to call last minute if a teacher is out or if they need coverage for an ARD. So they've got some pieces and people in place that can help them as well. We're also looking at those campuses to see what other systems we need to tweak and change and what we can do to add additional support. We've been able to add some retired professionals who've been able to come back for some administrative support as well at those UA1 and 2 campuses. You'll see the little tap and tip at the top. Those are the plans that are required by the state that you will approve in October. We'll bring those to you. We already have been working through those plans and we use those every day as a guide for the work as we move ahead. So for this next year, when we focus on those campuses, you'll see that that is 5 campuses that are getting additional targeted support, along with, we have a list. We keep a weekly report of campuses to look at how they're doing and where we need to shift our resources and our time and energy. But we know that these campuses have had not only additional staffing support, but additional coaching support as well. We will continue to bring you updates on a regular basis. We do that through student achievement, but we also will do those as part of the large board in our workshop session as well. And we are grateful for your feedback as we figure out what those look like for this year to make sure we're making the most meaningful reports that get you what you need as you're making decisions. So happy to answer any questions.
Just a couple of additions. You have in your folders a letter that we received yesterday from the Texas Education Agency. This should not be a surprise to you, and it's in line with what Misty just shared as well, but I wanted to make sure you had a copy of that. And then in line with our North Star goal that at least 80% of our students will be served in an A or B campus, we are going to start scheduling our celebrations on our campuses that have already achieved that North Star goal. So I think we're doing Bahama Buck celebrations, and we'll do that after school or possibly on a professional development day during the school day. But we're going to work on scheduling those in the future.
I think this board is so focused on making sure that we are taking the handcuffs off. As we've said, y'all have tried to do so much revenue neutral because our financial concerns are significant. But I wanted, so I know, and thank you for the additional time. I don't think, some of you I think never sleep. You just hang up for upside down for a minute because you are working so hard. But I know that you put some additional resources to some of our campuses that were particularly struggling. Do you feel like you've got what you need for those that are in the bubble in between? And we know we've got some high performers, and then we've got some schools that are struggling. And for everybody that's in the bubble, do you feel like you've got what you need? That's probably a loaded question.
I would say we do right now, but I also want to be very mindful that, and first of all, I want to give an incredible shout out to the team that is sitting in the audience behind me, because this is not a Lone Ranger job. We all work endlessly to make this happen. But we took very seriously what you said as a board about taking the handcuffs off and making sure we were asking for what we need. And that includes shifts that we actually made yesterday on a campus. And so we have said to our campuses, when there are resources that are needed that are keeping you from being able to do what those expectations are, we need to know that. Our campuses are taking that very seriously. And so we are using that to make move resources, move people, human capital, to get some additional support, to reach out to our retirees to get help. So we're not done. So yes, we have what we need today, but yesterday we needed to make some changes, and we made those changes. So,
okay. Well, and I think, as we know, we still have needs, and the funds are short. That we have more tough decisions to make, and really, as we've talked about, and Mr. Wedeke said 1,000,000 times from this dais, our only two choices are programming and footprint, really, to find those efficiencies. So we know we've got more tough days ahead, and making tough decisions if we're going to have the resources to do what we need to do academically, and that's our North Star goal. And by golly, we're going to get there.
Absolutely. And let me help my CFO breathe just a little bit. When I say too that we made changes yesterday, we're also figuring out some creative ways that we can look at resources across the district to say we may be flush in one area and short in another, and what can we do to make that work that will still move the needle forward and make things happen. So we're not approaching everything as an ad, but we also aren't approaching the world by saying we know we can't add. We know that we can ask for more. We know that we can ask for things, but we also have to be honest. Human capital is a shortage in the state of Texas right now, and we know that. And so we've been trying to look at some creative ways to think about retirees that can maybe only do a little bit, but that little bit added to someone else's little bit, added to someone else's little bit, can actually make a huge impact. So how do we do that in a more creative way to get some support without looking for a full FTE, as we call it, full position? So.
Misty, thank you for your strategic planning. I know you guys have been collaborating all summer long, because I feel like I've been living here myself with you guys. I think all of us have. But long story short, I've told some of the board of trustees, I feel like this year's different, because I feel it. I think I see you guys collaborating more, getting together more, and you guys see what the problems are. Not that you didn't see it before, but you guys have come up with some really strategic plans this summer, which I'm very impressed, because it's transparent, because community folks are telling me. And when parents tell me that, you guys are doing something, they're going to be calling me up and telling me, what's going on over there?
Great.
They're working hard. So thank you to your team. Dwayne, thank you. We're going to get your name tag next time, okay?
Thank you. Thank you for that. I was going to say, and thank you to our incredible team, our incredible principals, our incredible teachers. When we talk about strategic planning, they are coming to the table to win. They are working very intentionally, very strategically, and giving it their all. So we're very excited about the school year.
Thank you for the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes, ma'am.
And all that, because without that, we can't do one without the other. Let's be real.
Yep, that's right. Thank you.
Thanks, and thanks
Thank
for
you.
delaying this presentation. I'm sorry we didn't get it last week, but this was better having more time to talk, so thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next, we have our academic action items. Invite Dr. Rollo to help us with the consideration and approval of the Head Start required procedures and plans.
Yes, so this is an annual item that we bring to you, and I want to take a moment and thank Joni Rodella, she's in the audience, for her hard work that she does with our Head Start programming. There's a lot of compliance issues with Head Start, as you can imagine, and she does an absolutely beautiful job, and then she also oversees all of our pre-K programs outside of Head Start and kindergarten. So she is a very busy girl and has a great team. So thank you, Joni. We appreciate you. So this is just something that requires your approval. This is an annual report that was in your board book, as well as program information report, and then a 2026 update to the community assessment. Joni or I would be happy to answer any questions. Probably Joni.
Any discussion or questions about that? Okay, all right. Well, then I would entertain a motion to approve the Head Start required procedures and plans.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in those in favor, please indicate by show of hands. Same sign as opposed. Motion carries 7-0. Okay, now we will move on to our administrative action items. The designation of board delegate and alternate for the Texas Association of School Boards 2026 Delegate Assembly. Dr. Rollo.
Yes, so again, this is another annual item that we bring to you each year. We will be attending the TASA-TASB conference in October. And on Friday, October the 9th, there will be a delegate assembly. And so we need for you to approve a delegate and then also an alternate to the delegate.
And
We're not gonna haze, you guys can decide.
And I read you get a free lunch with it this year. They're doing it in the morning, so you get a free lunch.
Says there's no such thing as a free lunch.
So, do I have a motion to appoint a trustee? Is there a nomination?
Don't nominate me. I may have a bad conflict with that area, that time period.
I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, but sure. Yes, yes, well,
If you don't, I told them I would be the
yes,
alternate if nobody else wants to.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I nominate,
So I have a motion to appoint trustee Ziegner as the board delegate for the TASB 2026 Delegate Assembly. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee
Thanks,
Garrett.
James.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying, nope, by raising your hand.
Do I vote?
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. It is really interesting.
Do we need to, do
And
we
we
need
have
to
an alternate.
do we designate Lala?
Yeah, and so I now would have a motion, entertain a motion to appoint a trustee as the board alternate.
I would,
Nominate trustee Chavez.
second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second for trustee Chavez to be the 2026 Delegate Assembly's alternate board member. Those in favor, please indicate by saying, raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay.
and you get more credits too.
Okay, great.
I did it 5 years ago and I'm still processing.
Oh, goodness, we laugh a lot about this. Okay. Next, we have consideration and approval of additional T-test certified appraisers for the 26-27 school year. Dr. Rollo.
Yeah, so you actually already approved a lengthy list of T-test appraisers in a previous meeting. And T-test, for those of you that don't know, is our teacher evaluation system. And so principals and assistant principals who are going to serve as T-test appraisers have to go through a certification process. We've had a few more people since you approved the big list who have received their certification. So this is new. We have not always brought this to you every time we've had new people get certified, but we are going to from this point forward. So these are additional certified T-test appraisers.
Good. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the additional list of certified appraisers for the 2026-27 school year?
So moved.
I have have a motion by trustee Lawson. Is there a second? Second by trustee Chavez. All those in favor, please indicate by show of hands. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have the consideration and approval of a resolution authorizing the sale of the school property lot located at 2006 Avenue U, Lubbock, Texas. Dr. Anderson.
Good evening, President Sharp and the board. For your consideration, the real property at 2006 Avenue U is currently vacant, and the district has no current or future operational need for it. Within your packet is a map identifying the specific location of that, and also a resolution included in the pertinent parts of the resolution. Whereas these properties are vacant, whereas these properties are surplus properties, be it resolved, it is in LISD's best interest to sell said properties, and the Board of Trustees orders and authorizes the sale of the properties in accordance with the law, and authorizes the superintendent or board president to take any and all action to provide notice of LISD's intent to convey the properties. We recommend acceptance of this resolution.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the sale of the school property lot located at 2006 Avenue U, Lubbock, Texas 79411?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by a show of hands. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. And we did discuss this at length and for the sake of the public in committee. So, and thank you for the background you provided in advance of the meeting, Dr. Anderson. Okay. The next we have the consideration and approval of a resolution adopting a tax rate for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Dr. Wilkins.
All right, so felt like we kind of need to do a presentation for this because we hadn't had enough here lately, so no, not really. So this is a new thing, 2019 Senate Bill 2. They changed some verbiage and some requirements on the tax rate. And this new thing came out of it in a new form called the No New Revenue Tax Rate. So during that time, it became very complicated for school districts because we have no control over this. Okay, this was created for local municipalities, such as like cities and counties, so that they can keep their tax rates under control. The difference is school districts don't really control that. TEA gives us our maximum compressed rate. We have nothing to do with our local appraisals. That's done by LCAD. The only thing that we control is our INS rate. So I wanted to walk you through on a little bit of this and see if I can break it down a little bit for you since we're fixing to adopt a tax rate. So if you look here, the first slide we have, and I think you have this in your packet too, you can definitely see that we are going to adopt a lower tax rate than we had last year. Last fiscal year, we had a tax rate of 0.8672. This year, we're going to adopt a tax rate, with your approval, of 0.8604, which is definitely lower. Okay? It is 0.0068 cents lower. All right, so the deal is you have your no new revenue tax, and that is a formula that came up with legislatively and rolled out by the comptroller. So it's a form, it's on the comptroller's website. We don't even fill it out. LCAD fills it out for us. And they input our tax values, and they input the tax rate that TEA gives us, and it spits out a number. So we have no control over this form. If you look on the proposed rate side where I talk about the things that our proposed rate covers, which is our M&O, our debt service, and we don't really have a lot of control over it. So why was it designed? Like I said, it was designed for municipalities to keep their tax rates under control so they couldn't just charge whatever they wanted. So it allows them to keep their tax rates under control. We don't have that luxury. We can't just charge whatever. TEA tells us what our tax rate's going to be for our M&O side based on the appraisal values that are sent in from LCAD to the comptroller. So we have no control over that, but we still have to fill this form out, okay? And this form is a formula. The school district. So like I said, we have no control and we have rigid mandates. So where does the state maximum compressed rate come from? Once the appraisals come in, they are sent in. TEA works their formula and comes up with a number, and that's our maximum compressed rate. It is a complicated formula that we do not calculate. TEA calculates it for us. And then they send us an email that I receive that says, hey, go to this website. Here's Lubbock ISD's maximum compressed rate. Then we have the appraisal values. We do not have anything to do with the appraisal values. LCAD handles all that. We are told what our appraisal values are, and then we work within those parameters. Debt obligations, we control that. And we stick to the 17.5 cents that we told voters, and that's what we stick with. And so that's the one piece of this whole thing that we control, and it has nothing to do with the calculation. Oops. So then, again, going through it, I highlighted on this. I just wanted to put it in your packet so that you could see it and have it broken down. I'm not going to read it to you, but it's exactly what I just said to you. Now, this is the actual breakdown of it. Why do we have to do this? What are we fixing to talk about? If you look, you have our 25-26 tax rate, and I break down exactly how it's broken down in the system. And then you go to our no new revenue rate for this year and our tax rate that we're going to adopt for this year. You can see that our tax rate that we're going to adopt this year, that we are told what it's going to be, is slightly higher than the no new revenue rate. What is the no new revenue rate? Exactly what it says. They are saying that rate will generate exactly the same amount of revenue as the tax rate we had last year, this year. But they don't take into consideration that we have no control over our tax rate. We can't lower it if we want to. If we lower it, we get penalized by TEA. We have to maintain the tax rate that we get sent. So, like I said, this is something we have to do, and when we adopt, if we adopt this tax rate, we have to read specific language associated with it that's in Tax Code 2605. So here is the tax rate that we're going to look at adopting. 0.8604, which is the second line. And your top line is your no new revenue rate. And when we adopt a tax rate, we have to say it is a tax increase of 0.37%. If you remember, and I'm going to go back to it, that very first slide, there is no tax increase. Okay? So I'm showing you there is no tax increase. We are going from 0.8672 to 0.8604, but due to a legislative mandate in 2019 and a really fancy form created with some great formulas, we now have to read this verbiage. This happens because of large homestead exemption increases. On years that we don't have large homestead exemption increases, we will not have to read this language because we will be lower than the no new revenue rate. But since they raised that homestead exemption so high, it threw our calculations out of whack that we don't control. So I would be happy to answer any questions over this before we get into adopting the tax rate.
That penalty rate you were talking about, what would that be if we were penalizing? Just so out of curiosity.
They deduct state funding from us.
So everybody knows.
Yes.
So what I'm understanding you to say is that we have a lower tax rate this year than we did last year, but we're required to make a statement that says it's increased because of how the formula has and state law has mandated it.
Yes, ma'am, you're correct. The no new revenue rate is a form created by the comptroller that is a formula that produces this rate that we do not have to follow. It's just a formula. And since ours is higher than that, and we are given ours, we have to read this statement.
Okay.
But we are adopting a lower tax rate than last year.
But we are adopting a lower tax rate than last year.
Correct, yes, ma'am.
This is all just set by law then?
Yes. I just want to make sure that everybody understands this.
Something that you pointed out earlier during our meeting, the last session, the legislature increased the homestead exemption from 100,000 to 140,000, and then there's additional homestead exemption for folks over 65, which is a taxpayer's rate. Not the over 65 part yet, but the other part. But that reduced Lubbock ISD's taxable values, where we get tax revenue by over $1 billion.
That is correct. Over $1 billion in 1 year.
Just in Lubbock ISD's.
Correct. Yes, sir.
So the adjustment language, is that partially a result of the state effectively buying down?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So when the state bought us down so much, it threw that calculation completely out of whack on that form. We did not have to do this the last 2 years because the homestead exemption was a small buy down. If you remember back to I believe it's 2023, when they first did a huge buy down, we had to read this exact same statement then also because it threw that calculation out of whack again.
It's confusing.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of like bond election.
It really sounds like a
language.
bond election.
Yeah, it does. Sound like a bond election where we're required to say it's a tax increase when it's not. But
That's the reason I wanted to show that slide, last year's and this year's, so we can show that it is not a tax rate increase.
But required language.
Yes.
So public, if there's ever any confusion, go watch the August 27th meeting.
That is correct. And you can pull up the no new revenue tax rate form on the comptroller's website
Yeah.
if you want to look at it.
So for those of us that own houses in Lubbock ISD, that's our homestead, my tax rate's going down, right?
That's correct. So you're going to be per $100, it's .08604 if it's adopted.
And I do think it's hard to understand because people have heard about this no new revenue tax rate in conversations of city and county government. But school districts are operated differently, and we as elected leaders don't get to really set our tax rate. It's set for us through formula, and we just adopt it.
You are correct, President Sharp. Y'all have zero control over your M&O tax rate.
Yeah.
And that's important for people to know that.
Yes.
I mean, you guys did this.
No. Y'all did not do this. And I will tell you, it is a little bit crazy that we even have to adopt a tax rate when we're told what our tax rate is.
Okay, so, here we go. Do I have a motion? Let's see. Let me find that motion. 1 second, please. Hold for a moment, because I want to read it correctly. Wilkins, you may have to help me here. I know, I mixed all my papers up. That's exactly
It's on the script.
Yeah, oh, I know.
Page 4.
Yeah, I know. I just can't find page 4. Oh, hang on to me. I was flipping through all my papers. Here we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the property tax rate being increased by the adoption of a tax rate of .8604, which is effectively a 0.37% increase in the tax rate? I gotta have a motion from somebody.
So moved.
It seems like we're the ones that are saying, oh, we wouldn't have did that.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor, please indicate by a show of hands. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
I'll take the blame for our tax rate going down. I'll own it.
Yeah, you on the tax rate going down. My goodness, that's
Confusing.
a lot. Okay, procurement and contracts. Approval of district purchases, Dr. Anderson.
This should be less confusing.
Thank you.
A number of items, 8 actually, and some fun ones, really. The first is our iTeach program, and that is listed at $500,000. But remember that is actually basically supplanted from HR monies because this is the benefit that we give to adjunct teachers to help them to finish their certification. So each one of them receives a benefit of $4,050, which is also why their salaries are set slightly lower than our regular teachers, but that's what this program is. The next three are Mission Restaurant Supply. These are some contactless cabinets for picking up of food, and then two new serving lines, one for Coronado High School and one for Estacado High School. All interlocal agreements have to go through the board, so this giant agreement of $600 for the STEM Club for Smith Elementary will need to be approved as well. Access control, maintenance and services. This one, you'll see the amount is $72,000, and that normally would not be a board item, but there's a contract that's coming up with Enterprise Security. And when you add those up, it exceeds $100,000, so that's why this goes forward. This is for the 24-hour on-call repair component of our door access systems. The next is Cisco SmartNet, and this is WebEx calling, which is going to give us improved call reporting, call recording, and enhanced 911 emergency calling capabilities, and this is coming out of computer maintenance funds. And then the last one, a long-awaited teacher Chromebooks. So this is a fun one, and this is coming out of TRE technology funds. And just to get on the record, there were significant delays from manufacturers on the updated hardware. And so we had to take that through its testing process, and the team did that with all due diligence. And so we are moving as quickly as we possibly can, and my thanks to all of the team members who are involved in all of those. We recommend you accept all of these purchases.
I'm going to pull out, for the purposes of voting, the Texas Tech STEM Club for Smith Elementary. I'm going to pull that out, and let's consider that first, and then we'll consider the rest of those agreements if the board is. Okay. So first, I'd entertain a motion to approve the Texas Tech STEM Club for Smith Elementary in the amount of $600. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hands.
And
That
I'm
motion carries.
recusing myself.
That motion carries 6-0, and note that Trustee Ziegner is recused. Okay, now then I would entertain a motion to approve the rest of the district purchases as stated by Dr. Anderson.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Okay. All right. Last, we will look at the approval of construction manager at risk, delivery method, and delegation of authority. Dr. Anderson.
President Sharp, we have contract renewals.
Oh, I skipped one. I'm sorry. Dr. Anderson, approval of district contract renewals.
Thank you. The second half of the Enterprise Security Solutions of Texas is listed here. This is for the 24-hour security alarm monitoring and reporting, installation, and performance testing. And then the next two are, this has a little bit of complexity to it, but the simplest way to say this is that for the community and schools contracts that you approved at the last meeting, there's been a change in the fiscal year that is coming for them, and that creates, in essence, a 13th month. So in order to achieve paying for those, we divide the pieces in half, and we are going to capture one part of that 13th month through the end of the Cycle 11 Year 5 Texas ACE grant funds, and the remainder of those we're going to move to Cycle 13 Year 1 grant funds. So in essence, this is an accounting correction, and we just want to make sure that the record appropriately reflects what we're doing with community and schools.
Just for clarification, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding correct. So the ACE program is still going to be in the schools as listed before?
There is no change in the delivery of services or the contract. This is fundamentally just an accounting on how we're going to pay for it. Yeah, very good.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to accept the contract renewals as reported.
So moved.
The motion, is there a second? Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Okay, now, Dr. Anderson.
For your consideration, this is the approval of a construction manager at risk delivery method and delegation of authority. So this is a specific item that was really captured in our bond planning for McKenzie Middle School, but has deteriorated at such a rate that we need to change the mechanism by which we fix this parking lot. So what we're doing is we're extracting that so that we can do this as a single project. In order to do that, we have to change the delivery method. So all you need to do is vote on the change of the delivery method and giving Dr. Rollo the authority to negotiate that.
You bet. Okay. Any questions, discussion? No. Do I have a motion to approve delegating authority to the superintendent for choosing criteria, relative weights, ranking, selection, and evaluation of proposals and the use of the construction manager at risk delivery method for the construction project presented?
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by show of hands. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Dr. Anderson, approval of district contract construction purchases.
Based on that vote, I would like to submit for your consideration $111,600 for the replacement of the McKenzie Middle School parking lot through Sodexo.
Very good. All right, any discussion, questions?
Hallelujah.
A little praise. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the district construction purchase as presented?
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by show of hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. All right, very good. Dr. Rollo, do we have any need for an executive session?
Yes, a very short one.
Okay, all right. I don't anticipate any action coming back, so for those of you in the audience who want to go home, please do. Except our LIC TV.
Lord.
Okay. It is 7:16 PM and we are reconvened from the executive closed session. Do we have any action items following closed session? Hearing none, then it is 7:16 and this meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you.